Today on Sugar Spun Run, I'll be showing you how to make pavlova. Hey Sugar Spun Bakers, Sam here, and today I am really excited to be sharing another carefully tested, well-researched, and perfected recipe with you. These pavlova are surprisingly simple to make. If you've made my meringue, you can certainly handle this recipe. I'm going to be showing you how to make mini pavlova, but I'll also be including some notes in case you want to make a traditional larger one. Now the first thing you want to do is get that oven preheated to 225 degrees Fahrenheit. Now for today's recipe, you need 6 large egg whites, and I recommend using fresh egg whites, not the kind that you buy in a carton. Those don't always whip up properly, and that's really important for today's recipe. We're going to divide these. We separate the whites from the yolks just by passing that yolk back and forth. Now don't toss those egg yolks, save them to use another dessert. My tiramisu uses exactly 6 yolks, so what better excuse to try making it? Now when making pavlova, it is critical that no yolk gets in with that egg white, otherwise they're not gonna whip up properly. Now egg whites are finicky, so you have to make sure that anything that they touch does not have even a tiny bit of grease on it. So make sure you wipe out that mixer bowl really well before beginning. Even a little bit of water will also mess with your pavlova. So I have my 6 egg whites and I'm going to add them to my nice clean mixer bowl. And today I am using my stand mixer for this recipe. Now we're going to be using cream of tartar to help stabilize that meringue. You'll need 3/4 teaspoon of that. And I'm also going to be adding a heaping 1/8 teaspoon of salt. Let's whisk everything together on low speed until you notice those egg whites starting to foam. And I'm using the whisk attachment on my mixer today, but you could use the paddle attachment as well. That works fine too. This is nice and foamy, so we're going to start adding our sugar. You need 3/4 cup of granulated sugar. I'm not using super fine sugar, but you certainly could. And we're going to be adding this just a tablespoon at a time. Before I do that, I'm going to gradually increase my mixer speed up to high. And you want to add this really slowly. So I'm going to add 1 tablespoon. And then I'm going to wait 15 to 20 seconds with the mixer running before I add the next tablespoon. Your egg whites are going to start getting more voluminous and billowy while they're mixing. Just keep on gradually adding that sugar. If you do this too fast, your meringue may not set up properly. So once you've added all of your sugar, we can go ahead and take a peek at this. Now there are 2 key things you want to look for here. First, we're actually going to be feeling to make sure that all of the sugar has dissolved. Just take a little bit of that meringue between your thumb and your forefinger and just rub your fingers together. And if you feel any grip, you need to keep mixing. Now I am going to mix this just a little bit longer. The other thing we're looking for is full, billowy, stiff peaks, and I'll show you those in just a second. Okay, let's take another look. And this is looking really good now. We shouldn't need to mix anymore. I want to take my spatula and show you exactly what the stiff peak looks like. As you can see, the peak that forms, first of all, it holds its shape perfectly when I turn it upside down. And that peak, it's not folding over itself, it's standing firm and tall and stiff. So we're almost done. I'm going to add my extract, and I like to use vanilla extract because it gives that pavlova that nice marshmallowy flavor. We're going to just add 1.5 teaspoons. And I'm just gonna give this a brief mix with the whisk, and then I'll use my spatula to make sure everything's combined. The vanilla is going to deflate the egg whites a little bit, but it shouldn't completely deflate them. Now I'm going to pipe half of these pavlovas to show you how that's done, and I'm just gonna scoop the others. So I'm just going to put half of this batter into a piping bag that I've fitted with an Ateco 827 tip. This is a little bit messy, but we'll make it work. You are going to need a large baking sheet for this recipe. I have mine right here, and I'll link to this one in the description below. And you'll want to cover that with parchment paper. And I like to use just a little dab of meringue in each corner. That helps hold the parchment paper down. So I'm going to use my piping bag to pipe some cute little, I guess you'd call them nests. I think that's what pavlovas basically are, little whipped cream nests. And we'll do several of those. With the remaining meringue, I'm just going to go ahead and scoop that in these nice little piles. And you're just gonna use a spoon to kind of make a hole in the center. Again, it's kind of like you're making a nest. And then if the sides are messy, you'll just use your spoon to tidy that up a little bit. You wanna give the pavlova a little bit of space on the baking sheet, but they don't need very much because they really should not be spreading in the oven. Remember, these are going to be holding fruit and whipped cream, so you want them to have that defined cavity, I guess you'd call it. If you were making a single large meringue, you would just be pouring everything, all of your meringue into a pile basically, and then making it into a nice nest, just like one of these. All right, let's take these over to our preheated oven where they're going to bake for 1 hour. Once that hour has passed, turn off your oven and let the pavlovas sit in there for another hour without opening the door. Don't disturb it. Now, once that second hour has passed, your pavlova will be done. It might still be a little bit warm, but you can remove it from the oven at that point. Once your pavlova has cooled completely, we can go ahead and add our whipped cream. Of course, we are making a homemade whipped cream, starting with 2 cups of heavy cream. We'll add 2/3 cups of powdered sugar, just so it's nice and lightly sweetened. This also helps give the whipped cream some structure. And just a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Anytime you're making whipped cream, I recommend using an electric mixer. You can certainly use your stand mixer, but I'm going to be using my hand mixer today. And I'll just beat this until I have nice, thick, billowy, stiff peaks, which you should be super familiar with by now. Okay, your pavlova shells are done. Your whipped cream is whipped. All you need is some fruit and we can assemble everything. I'm just going to dollop some of that cream right on the center in that beautiful little nest that we created. And top it off with your favorite fruits. I know passion fruit is a popular choice with pavlova. Today I'm just doing raspberries, blueberries, and strawberries. And that is how you make perfect pavlova from scratch. These are incredible. They've got the nice crisp exterior, an airy marshmallowy soft interior, and that lightly sweetened cream and bright fresh fruit. I'm so excited for you to try this one. Please, if you do, let me know what you think. I always love hearing from you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. It's really good.